But again, and then that language got translated. When it got translated into Latin or whatever it was, it got translated kind of misappropriated.
Yeah, as so often happens. I think the history of translation, especially in religion, is something that needs a bit more focus, because so much of our understanding of theology can be affected by one person's decision to make it. Have you ever seen paintings of Moses with horns?
No.
A lot of the time, if you see a painting so Michelangelo's famous statue of Moses has horns on it.
Whoa.
If you go to the Sainte-Chapelle in Paris, you see on the windows there are pictures of Moses with horns on.
Wow.
And it's because there's this word, I think it's keren, in Hebrew, which can be translated as like rays, as in like rays of light, but it can also be translated as horns. It's like the same word. And so when St. Jerome makes the Vulgate, the Latin translation of the Bible, he translates it literally as horns. So there's this passage in Exodus where Moses comes down from the mountain and he did not know that his head was keren because he'd been speaking with the Lord. So he did not know that his face shone, is how most translations will have it. But Jerome translates it as he did not know that his face was horned because he'd been speaking with the Lord, which doesn't make much sense, because like 5 minutes later, he has to cover up his face because of the effect it's having on people around him. It's quite clear that that's what it meant. But because Jerome translated it as horns, you end up seeing all this religious art with
that's fascinating.
Moses having these devilish looking horns.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's quite a sort of trivial example, but you can imagine that happening theologically. It's not just like the painting of Moses, but your conception of God is completely altered by the fact that some concept has been translated wrong. And sin is a great example of that.